Hi, this video will show you around one of our Moodle course pages and structures that we've set up recently for an RTO, just to give you a bit of a look at some of the things that we're trying to do a little differently. This course is for 16 and 17-year-olds. They do it over 1 to 2 years if they're doing it at school. It's a Certificate 3 level course, and what we've done is remove a lot of the normal Moodle bits and pieces and essentially just built a little interface over the top of it, which is quite a simple process, but we think it works really well, particularly for this course. So it looks a bit overwhelming now, but when people are enrolled, they simply see the induction tiles across the top here. And once they've completed that section, then the next section will appear. So we're just using conditional topics, essentially, to perform that function. They see the leadership tiles. When they've completed those, they see cluster 1, etc. When they finish a cluster, they hit the complete button here and they fill in their little student declarations, and that triggers to an assessor that that part of the course is ready to be assessed for that student. And so the assessor will then go in, provide feedback on the actual assessment items and double check everything they need to. So essentially what we've done is blocked the program down. When they complete a cluster, the next cluster opens up. So if they were right at the end of the course, they would see all of this on the page, but it progressively reveals as they move through the course. Each of these tiles takes them to an exercise or a module, and that they are very similar in process, and that's really helped us with technical support because students get to know the process and they work through it so often that there are really, after the induction, there are very few questions about how to move through the course. It's all about the actual course content and process from then on. So to give you a bit of a look at that, just before I do, I'll show you that this is actually all responsive. So the idea is that this will work across all devices. If you're on a mobile phone, you might see something like that. And it still all fades and it still all works. And if you're on a tablet, somewhere in between there, I guess. Okay, so if I click on one of these exercises, each of these looks the same. This too is a responsive template just built inside a Moodle page. You can see on a phone, once again, it stacks very differently than it would on a tablet. Tablet might be about there, I guess, somewhere there. And then you've got wider screens, it'll go up to about 1100, 1200 pixels wide. So the students follow the same process every time, and they learn this in the induction. So they watch the videos. Generally these are, sometimes they're audio, but generally they're videos. Let's have an example here. So the first video is always an introduction, which orients them to the topic and gives them a bit of an introduction about what's required of them. The next one is some other media. So this is probably TV ads about teamwork, and they're from YouTube, I think, or somewhere that we're streaming those in. And then we've also done some slides. So we've done some audio over the top of just PowerPoint slides to get through a bit of content there, and in that case it goes for about 4-5 minutes, not very long. So all up, the videos in this case are only, I think, together about 6-7 minutes maybe. And then the students, when they're completed all the media, and I must admit some of them do have quite a few little media clips to complete, and some of them are slightly longer, they then come down here on the right hand side and they work to the text alternative, which is essentially read the fact sheet. And these don't look super pretty, but they are responsive and they work nicely. We're printing those up for next year. That's a big focus next year. After that, they complete an activity. So in this case, it's a pretty standard Moodle quiz, which they'll work through, and that might include some offline work, which they have to upload, etc. Maybe some sheets have to complete or whatever. So that's all done through the normal quiz and assignment uploads. In this case, it's 2. Normally, it's actually only 1, but this case it has 2. And we use a standard Moodle forum, just one forum for the whole course to handle peer support and questions, and we call it the cafe. So they click on that at the end. If they've got any comments, questions, queries, they can ask them in the forum. I won't show that right now. It's a pretty standard forum with a header, but it does have student data in it, so I probably won't click to that in the video. So at any time they click this logo, they're back to the course page, and the fading keeps track of where they're up to. So as soon as they acknowledge that work is to be submitted, then each of these little modules fades out. You can see this student has done 1, 2, 3 in cluster 2, and they know exactly which ones they are and where they're up to. So that's our little interface. It works very well. We're happy with it. It takes away a lot of the standard look that you would get in a course like this, and there's probably 300 students doing the course at once, and it seems to handle all of that fairly quickly and well. So that's one little setup that I just thought I'd share with you.